Well, the stuff has hit the fan. Society is collapsing. Government services like EMS, police, fire are no longer responding. Society is descending into anarchy. And to top it all off, you're old and you're fat. But is that necessarily a bad thing? This video is in no way intended to discourage anyone from getting into shape and losing weight. That's probably the best thing you can do to improve your chances of survival, whether it's in a grid down situation or just everyday life. I mean, let's face it, the cheeseburgers are going to get us before the zombies ever do. Now on my channel, I have a couple videos about overweight people bugging out or getting home during SHTF, and the response has been pretty overwhelming. I mean, I was surprised at some of the comments, how many comments there were. And I gotta say 99.9% of those comments were really positive, so thanks guys. Some were even inspirational. Rooster, shout out to you, buddy. I was inspired by your story. I hope you watch this video too. Anyway, so 99.9% of the comments were positive. Now, there were one or two that were, let's just say, negative. But I wouldn't even say that they were mean or cruel. I would say that they were more just misinformed. In one comment, somebody said that prepping is not even something that overweight people should be doing because fat people wouldn't survive during the apocalypse no matter what they did to prepare for it. Somebody else said that overweight people won't last 5 minutes during an SHTF situation. Now, while I agree that getting in shape, losing some weight is a good thing, I don't agree with their assessment of the situation. And in today's video, I'm going to explain why. Well, I've been out in the woods a long time here, more than 5 minutes. Society is just 3 missed meals away from total anarchy. And if you're counting on 3 meals a day, that means you're 3 days away from total anarchy and chaos. 3 days without eating. Now, if you're only 1% body fat and you've gone 3 days without eating, how's your body going to be holding up? A guy like me, I could probably stand to miss a few meals and would be better off for it. So let's run some numbers. A 200-pound person with 5% body fat on them is going to have 10 pounds of fat. A pound of fat is about 3,500 calories in that pound, roughly. So if you're burning 2,000 calories per day and you've got 10 pounds of fat on your body, that means you've got 17 and a half days worth of stored calories on your body. Now, let's say you're 250 pounds and you're 25% body fat. You're morbidly obese, right? At 250 pounds, 25% body fat, that means you've got 50 pounds of fat on your body. At 3,500 calories per pound, assuming you're only burning 2,000 calories per day, that's 87 and a half days worth of stored calories. Now, you might be in great shape. You might be able to carry a 100-pound ruck 100 miles like Canadian Prepper can. But I doubt that no matter how good a shape you're in, that you can carry 87 and a half days worth of food in your rucksack. Me? I'm already carrying it, buddy. Already carrying it right here. So while Mr. Olympia, Mr. Six-Pack Abs, 1% body fat, while his body is cannibalizing its own muscle after just a couple days of missed meals, I'm going to be running off of stored fat. Fat's just a way for us animals to carry calories. Think of bears. Before they hibernate, they fatten up, right? And their body uses that stored energy during times that it's not taking any food in. Well, if we ever come into a situation where we're not taking in any food, our body is first going to use up our fat supplies. And once that runs out, for some people that'll be sooner than others, it's going to start to cannibalize your muscles. And you're not going to be performing at peak levels. Now, all these stored calories in my beautiful belly come at a price, a pretty high price. Early on in an SHTF situation, the advantage is going to go to the athletic, to the agile, to the strong, to the fast. Me, I'm not going to be able to run for my life. I'm not going to be able to climb a 12-foot tall chain link fence. I'm not going to be able to get away really quick from a mob of angry people who want what's in my pack. So early on, it is going to be survival of the fittest. But with some proper planning, some good strategies, and the right gear, if you can survive that early on violent phase, it's going to transition from survival of the fittest into survival of the fattest. Have you ever seen the show Alone on the History Channel, where they take 10 survivalist experts and put them out in the woods by themselves? Well, they're out there, they're making sticks with fire and fire with... Anyway, after 30 or 40 days of them being out there, it's no longer about survival. It turns into the starvation game. Who can starve the longest? So once you get past that initial violent phase, if you can make it and still have a couple pounds of stored calories on your body, like I said, now you've got the advantage. If you've got a few extra stored calories on your body, and I mean just a few, 20 pounds maybe, you don't want to be unhealthy. I'm at an unhealthy weight right now. So no, you don't want to be fat free, but you don't want to have way too much fat. You want to go into this with a good balance. The best time to get into shape would be before SHTF. So start working on that along with me. Start working on that now. So no, I don't think that all overweight people are going to die in the first 5 minutes of an SHTF situation. Now, obviously, ideally, the best thing we could do is to get into shape now. You want to have a good balance of agility, strength, speed, things like that going into an SHTF situation. That would be ideal. However, if you're not, it's not a death sentence. You can kind of even some of the odds with the proper strategy, with the proper gear, with the proper planning and training. You can kind of negate some of those physical shortcomings that you might have. Now, you're not going to be able to negate all of them, but you can negate some of them, and that's better than nothing. But here's something for you to think about. Now, let's say you're a fat person like me, and you've done all the prepping and all the planning. You've got the secret hidden pantry with all the bags of rice and beans that nobody knows about. And then the day comes and it's Armageddon, apocalypse comes, right? And everybody's scrambling. And time goes on and people are starving. People are watching their families get thinner and thinner as the access to food becomes more limited. And here I am and I still look like this. They're going to know, hey, that fat guy over there, he ain't getting skinny like the rest of us. He must have a stockpile of food hidden away somewhere. So, even if you've made all the preparations, you've got enough food to last for years for you and your whole family, and in this SHTF situation, one way or the other, you're going to have to get skinny. Hopefully it's not through starvation, because starvation is never a good idea. Don't do that to yourself. It's not a good way to lose weight. Do it in a healthy way. But while other people are out there starving, if you're not getting skinny along with them, they're going to know you got something that they don't, and they're going to come after it. I mean, what would you do to feed your children? You do anything, right? So will they. So, one way or the other, you're going to get skinny. Now, I'm not saying you should go out and gain 50 pounds. That's not a healthy thing to do. And I'm also not saying that you should starve yourself to drop weight. That's not healthy either. Whether it's starvation today or starvation after SHTF, we want to avoid both, right? Neither one are a good thing. Do it a healthy way. So, to the people that left the comments saying that overweight people shouldn't even bother, overweight people aren't going to make it 5 minutes after the apocalypse comes, I disagree. I don't subscribe to that theory. I think it's got more to do with what's up here and what's in here than what's going on down here. All right? So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. While you're doing that, you might as well hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much. And we'll see you on down the road sometime. Have a great day. But if you can survive those initial phases, and you get into, I'm mumbling again.